Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. This week we're exploring the beautiful south coast of South Australia. So why don't you go and get yourself a cold drink and get your feet up for the next 20 minutes or so. Come and join us for the adventure.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures?
Elsa just told me she's not exactly presentable for the YouTube video at the moment, but you're always presentable when you're on the road. We've come to a little place called Kingston SE. You'll find it on the coast. It's probably about, what, 50 k's north of Robe?
I think so.
As you're heading towards Adelaide. It's a beautiful place. I'm going to show you around the campgrounds in the morning, but I could not resist showing you the sunset on our very first night. Check this out. Well, that was pretty bloody special, wasn't it, Al?
It was very nice.
We just worked out that is the very first sunset that we've seen completely over the water since we started travelling 2 years ago.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is actually.
Absolutely amazing. We had to drive 71,000 kilometres to find it, but it was well worth the wait, wasn't it?
It was well worth the wait, and I'm looking forward to many more.
All right, we're going to have a little bit of dinner and I'll show you all around the campsite tomorrow morning. Well, how was that bloody sunset last night? That was spectacular. And for our first one that we've seen since we've been on the road in over 70,000 kilometres in nearly 2 years, that's totally over the water. That was quite a surprise to us, but when we thought back, we went back through some video footage last night, that was certainly the first one over full water. Anyway, all those things aside, we've come into Kingston. We're staying at the Kingston RV Stopover. It's a beautiful spot. Let me show you around. Well, here's our spot here at the Kingston RV Stopover. What a fantastic spot. And I've got to say, we scored ourselves a pretty good spot when we come in here to stay. We've got this little corner slot, and you can see that you're surrounded by a few trees, which gives you a bit of privacy as well, which is great. But there's plenty of other areas here to stay, and you can see there's plenty of people that are up through there. And this big wide open paddock that's just here, which was full of people last night, but they've all moved on this morning. If you'd like to come and stay in Kingston, this particular area is going to cost you $20 for 2 nights. So whether you stay 1 night or 2, it's going to cost you the same $20. You just buy yourself a voucher at the ticket machine and stick it on the dashboard of your car. The ranger's already been around this morning and he does check the tickets to make sure that you've paid for your stay, but they give you such a great facility here. There's access to fresh water, there's a dump point here. It's a literal walk to the local supermarket, across to some takeaway fish and chips, out to the beach area. We showed you the sunset last night. Beautiful place to come and stay. You can stay here a maximum of 6 days, and I think we'll stay the maximum. So we're going to get out and about today around Kingston. We'll probably go for a run down to Cape Jaffa, which is a little bit further down the coast, not too far away. There's an old lighthouse, there's a few wineries and stuff down there.
Yes.
So we'll go down and check those out. But we weren't going to stay here originally, were we, Al? At the RV Stopover?
No, I think originally you had camping on the beach itself.
Yeah, there's a beach camp just up the road from here. Yeah, so we're going to go up and we're going to have a look at that for sure.
Definitely, that would be good to have a look at.
Yeah, but someone met the other day, they said to us, well, if you're going to Kingston, you definitely got to stop at the RV park. Geez, I'm glad they made that suggestion.
Yeah, it's a very good suggestion. It's a very big area. There is grass, there is a bit of dirt as well, but that's what happens when you get lots of people in camping. But the water is like about 100 metres just down the road. There's a dump point right here. there are toilets in the park, and it's a great view, so it's a wonderful use of the area by the council, and yet again we are lucky as campers to be able to use these areas.
For sure. Now, you don't get power here. You can use a generator. I think I read online it's from about 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon if that's what you need to do. But if that's not your style, there's also a caravan park here in Kingston that you can go to, which you'll find at the other end of the Esplanade. So we might go for a buzz past that as well, just to give you a bit of a look around the rest of the town. Anyway, we'll head out to the free camp where we're going to stay to check it out, because we still might go there for a couple of nights yet. Just want to see what happens getting a little bit closer to Easter. So we come out to the free camp on Kingston's Long Beach, and you'll find it just a little bit north of the town. What a beautiful spot. I can actually see where we're staying a little bit further down the coast at the moment. Plenty of open beach here, plenty of areas you can come and set up and park. Big tip is make sure you know where the tide line is, because the sand does get a little bit soft once you get into that area, but on the other side, or the side closest to the dunes, really firm. We haven't had to let the tyres down or anything, and as I said, miles and miles of beach that you can come and camp on. Long Beach, you want to come and stay here, Al?
If the weather is good, yeah, I'd definitely come and stay on the beach. It would look lovely.
I'm just picturing the sunsets in my mind right now. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they would be good.
Got to say, that was probably the easiest get on and get off beach I've ever driven on. That was just like driving on a road. It was fantastic.
It was very easy, I must say. We've not experienced that as yet.
Never. All right, well, we're going to head down to Cape Jaffa now, check out the old lighthouse and a few other things down that way. Let's get down there. So we've come for a drive out to Cape Jaffa, which you'll find about 15 to 20 minutes south of where we're staying up in Kingston. It's a very quiet coastal town, very sleepy little town, isn't it, Al?
Very sleepy little town, yes.
There is a van park here and a few facilities if you're out this way, like a dump point and those sorts of things. A couple of walks that you can do while you're here. We're going to go for a walk out on the jetty now and check out the coastline from the jetty, and then we're going to go up and we're going to find the old lighthouse ruins. There's some ruins up there from the late 1800s. You can go out and check those up. That's a walk. It's about 30 minutes from where you can park your car, and you can also see out to the platform where the old lighthouse used to sit out on the reef. But that lighthouse has been deconstructed and now rebuilt down in Kingston. So we made our way out to the end of the jetty, and you can fish and all those sorts of things in these sorts of places, but with all the weed that's currently up on the beaches, I've got to say, it's pretty bloody ripe out here at the moment. It really stinks. But we're going to go back in now. We'll go for a drive out and we'll find the old lighthouse. So we made our way out to the lighthouse keepers' cottages that you'll find here at Cape Jaffa. Now, you can do a 30-minute walk out here, but we found a track which you can come out on. If you're coming out on the track, you need to have a four-wheel drive. There's actually a sign at the start to tell you that. And it is quite sandy, a little bit boggy in areas, and someone forgot to stick it into four-wheel drive, and we nearly got bogged, but we didn't. So our record remains intact for not being bogged on our great lap so far, or our big lap so far. But when you come out here, you'll find the cottages. They were built back in the 1850s and they were occupied right up until 1929 for the lighthouse keepers who worked out on the reef, or the lighthouse, which was on a pontoon way out on the reef, and you can see it from the shoreline here, and I'll cut in some footage. I don't think I'll be able to pick it up the GoPro, but I'll zoom in as best I can to see it. But as I said before, it's the same lighthouse that you'll find up in Kingston today. So the GoPro will never be able to see it, I don't think, but I'll zoom as best I can. But directly out there, and you probably just have to trust me on this, there's a platform, and that's where the lighthouse used to stand, and that's the same lighthouse I was talking about before, which has now been reconstructed and sits up on the Marine Parade in Kingston. But I imagine life out here would have been very, very isolated, particularly back in the late 1800s and early 1900s for the families who lived here. And I suppose for the fellas who were working out on the lighthouse, it must have been just like a boat ride out there each day, or they might have gone and spent a couple of days out there at a time. I'm not 100% sure, it doesn't really tell you, but it is a beautiful spot, very, very isolated though. So that was our short visit out to Cape Jaffa. It was quite interesting, wasn't it? Particularly the old lighthouse ruins.
Yeah, it has been quite interesting. We didn't have to do the hike in to see it, so...
Yeah, we've done the four-wheel drive track. Now, the four-wheel drive track you can access from the conservation park, and I'll just cut in a picture of what that looks like, or the turn-off to that when you come up. You can also access it, as we said, by a 30-minute hike from back in Cape Jaffa, or you can come along the beach. There's a four-wheel drive access along the beach here as well. But we had a look out on the beach very quickly, and it looked quite boggy out there today, doesn't it? It's very, very loose sand.
Yes. Be careful if you're doing it.
Definitely, but the way we come in through the conservation park was pretty easy. Just remember to stick it into four-wheel drive. We're going to head back into Kingston now. I've got a roast chicken to cook this afternoon, so that we're going to do that and just relax for the rest of the day. It's a beautiful afternoon, or hopefully it'll be a beautiful afternoon.
It looks like it's going to be a nice afternoon again, yes.
Yes. Oh, one thing I forgot. If you do come to Cape Jaffa, there's a lot of wineries out here as well. Now, as you would know from watching the channel, Ali and I don't drink a lot of wine, so we're not going to go out and do the wineries today, but we've seen at least 4 or 5 so far since we've been out here, and it might be certainly something that'd be worth to come out and visit and maybe stay in the region. It's quite nice, isn't it?
It looks nice, yes, definitely. If you're a wine connoisseur, it might be something for you.
Definitely. All right, and get back and roast a chook. Here it is, the chicken I come back to roast. Took about an hour and a half in the Weber. That'll be lunch for the next couple of days. Fantastic. Going out for our morning walk this morning. There's a fantastic foreshore here in Kingston that you can go for a walk along. Today's supposed to be disgusting. I had a look at the weather on my phone this morning, and it said it's supposed to be cloudy and overcast and the wind blowing, but they couldn't have got it more wrong, so hopefully it holds out like this for the next couple of days. We're going to go for a walk up. We'll check out the other caravan park that you can stay at when you come into town here, and also check out the lighthouse. Here's the Cape Jaffa Lighthouse, and this is the one they had 8 kilometres offshore on the Margaret Brock Reef, and it's been brought in here to Kingston now and displayed here in town. I tell you what, it's quite a substantial structure considering where it sat and the time that it was built, but it's good to come down and have a see. You can do tours here. I think it's about $15 an adult and $7 for a child, but it's not even open yet because we're up here so early this morning. But it's great to come up and have a walk, and it's only about 1 kilometre up from the RV stopover down by the jetty. Just across the road, or just up from the lighthouse, probably about 40 metres or so, you'll come to the caravan park here in Kingston, where they encourage you to come and stay or extend your stay. If you've been down in the RV park, come spend a few bucks in the caravan park as well. Well, we've retreated inside the caravan because the wind is absolutely howling here at Kingston at the moment, isn't it?
It is a bit windy outside, yes.
Yeah, people are definitely battening down the hatches outside. Look, if you've been watching the channel for a little while now, you'll know that Ali and I don't moan or complain about too many things. We quite enjoy our lifestyle, and we enjoy all of the different people and places that we visit as we travel around Australia.
Yes, we do.
But there is an exception to that time, and that exception rolled in next to us about 24 hours ago.
They have, yes. They're very loud, they're very obnoxious, and they're very crass, unfortunately, and they're very messy. Like, there's rubbish all through their area of the campground, and you know they're not going to pick up that rubbish and put it in the bin when they leave.
Certainly. You know, like, we're not, I don't know, what's the word for it? We're not prudes or anything like that, and we hear a bit of language, and we've all been to pubs, and I was in the army for a long time.
I was going to say, you know, most people say I probably swear a bit myself.
Yeah.
Yes, we can be a bit loud when we talk and we're having a good time, but I think most people will either have camp etiquette or just common courtesy.
Yeah.
And that seems to be lacking on the other side
Oh,
of
it's
the bush
worse
at
than
this
lacking.
point.
They just don't have it. They don't care, do they? They do not care.
No,
they
the louder the better, unfortunately.
Screaming out offensive language, the words that you just don't say.
Yes.
They're screaming that out at the top of their voice, and it's not just once or twice. It's gone on for hours and hours and hours.
Yes. So clearly Steve is not happy with them, and we don't want to get on and moan and groan for too long, but it has certainly impacted, I think, a small amount of people have certainly impacted this campground, which is unfortunate because we've got a whole range of people here within the campground. You know, young kids who are here, certainly old enough to understand what Easter's about and really keen to see the Easter Bunny appear. We've got some more older people, and they've come out eyes raised, and everyone seems to have retreated into their caravans or very much away from the group of people, and it's such a shame. You know, we were told there was ranges of counsellors that would come around and check permits to ensure you're meeting the requirements in terms of you paid your money, you're not in a swag or a tent. We haven't seen them, and I think maybe if they had patrolled a little more, maybe a quiet word in these people's ear might have just quelled them down or shifted them on. So it's just a shame to see, I guess, a group of people having that sort of impact.
Now, I wanted to name and shame these people and go out and film them and do all these things, but Alison said that's not appropriate. No. And I agree with that. That's not appropriate. Yes. We're not going to do that. But yeah, I think there's a time and place for everything. But for these sorts of people, and this is an unfortunate thing, there's a lot of people that are like this these days when you come to some places, aren't there?
I don't know. I'm hoping
Alison's
not.
a lot softer than I am, I can assure you of that. These people are just, I don't know how to bleep words out, so I'm not going to say the word. But anyway, they're not going to let them destroy our weekend. And that's what I said to Ali just before we started to film, was that these people are going to go home and say they had an absolutely fantastic weekend. They'll talk about their time at Easter in Kingston maybe for the next 2 or 3 years. And yet everybody else that's around them is going to say how bad their weekend was because of this particular group of people. It's unfortunate but true. And hopefully we don't have to put up with it again in the near future. But we're not going to let it wreck our time here. We're going to head out today. We'll shoot down to Southend in a place called Beachport. Alison's friend Sherry.
Yes.
She said to us, you need to go and check out those places. So that's what we're going to do. All right, well, we'll catch up with you down in Southend.
So we've come out for a day trip today from where we're staying up in Kingston, and we've come down to the township of Southend, which is quite nice, isn't it, Al?
It's very picturesque, yes.
We're going to go for a bit of a look around, have a bit of lunch first. We'll go for a bit of a look around and maybe do one of the walking tracks, and then we're going to head up to Beachport and check it out. But you'll find these two places probably about 100 k's south of Kingston, I think it was this morning.
I think so.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the nicest day for it, but you don't get the nicest day every day you're on the road, but it's still a beautiful place to come and see. The ocean is dead flat and just some great scenery when you come out here. So come and join us. We'll go for a bit of a walk around Southend. We're going to start our day here in Southend at Cape Batten. So you just drive all the way out. You won't miss it on Google Maps. It brings you out to a car park. There's plenty of room to turn around if you've got your van on. And then you can do one of 3 coastal walks while you're out here that takes you around the actual Cape itself. So we'll go for a bit of a walk around. We'll check out maybe one of them while we're here, but there's plenty of options open if you decide you want to do all 3. And then we're going to go for a drive up to Beachport. The coastal walk's a really easy track to walk along, and it's very well marked. As you come up along the coast here at Southend, it's quite a nice walk to do. Well, I hope the GoPro picks him up. We're just coming around the coastal walk. Found a little seal just laying down here on the side of the beach. He's on his own. I don't know whether he's coming here for a rest or he's not feeling too well, but yeah, he seems quite alert. He looks up at us every so often. So even though we first thought that the seal may have been in distress, we did check online, and this is normal behaviour, and it's not uncommon to see them on the beach like this on the South Australian coastline, and holding one flipper in the air is just a way they regulate their body temperature. See our friend the seal's jump back into the water. There he is, just shaking his head around. He's actually spinning. So what do you think of the Cape Baffin coastal walk, Al?
It's very nice. It's quite beautiful and scenic. I'd love to come back and do it maybe on a sunny day. I think it would really give a different light to the walk itself again in the beautiful sunlight.
Certainly, but it was a really easy walking track, and we done the short one today. So we come from Cape Baffin down to the Cape or to the Jetty lookout, and then just back to get the car. Probably about a little over a kilometre return. You think it wasn't? Didn't feel like it was too far.
I think it's 1.5 according to the sign, but I'd have to go back and look at it.
Yeah, we'll check that. Anyway, I'll cut in a picture of the sign here, but there are some other walks you can do through here. So just come out to the car park, and I think that's where all three launched from. But yeah, it's a great place to come and see. So it was our short visit here at Southend. We're going to go for a drive up along the coast now because you can see it from where we are. We're going to go up to a place called Beachport, which is supposed to be very, very nice, isn't it, Alison?
It is. It's another lovely place. Good scenic drive area, I'm told, by an old school friend.
Yeah, so we'll go up, we'll go for a drive along, we'll check it all out and pull into town and go for a bit of a walk around. So we come into the beautiful seaside town of Beachport. I've got to say, every one of these towns as we've gone up and down the South Australian coast, it's got its own jetty, and this one's got a really good one. So go for a walk out along that. But I can see how this would be a very, very popular holiday spot for South Australians and Victorians particularly.
I think so. I think it's a very beautiful spot to come and spend a few days.
Yeah, great ocean around here. There's a beautiful coastal drive which will take you around very, very soon. And just a lot of like little cafes and restaurants. Just all the things you expect in those beachy towns, like we find in Queensland, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, very, very nice. Anyway, let's have a look around. So just while we're here in Beachport, we've come up to a place called Durant's Lookout. Beautiful spot to come to, isn't it?
It is very nice. Great views.
Oh, you do. You see right up and along the coast and, yeah, all over the place, all over the top of the town. Beautiful place to come and visit. And I think we said a little earlier, we'll probably come back here in the future and spend a few days. We've got big plans coming up in a couple of years, don't we?
Yes, at the moment we've made a few plans and it should be on our list, I think.
Yeah, definitely will be on our list, I think. But beautiful place to come and visit. And we also visited Southend today. What did you think of Southend, Elle?
It was good. It was another quiet, sleepy little town. It has great walks down at Southend and beautiful scenic drive here in Beachport, and it's got a lot of other things to do. So I'm enjoying the suggestion, to be honest.
Yeah, certainly. It's really easy driving day when you're coming down from Kingston. For us, it's only like an hour's run down, and then you get to spend the day down here and then an hour's run back in the afternoon. We're going to leave via the scenic route, and that was what Ali's friend recommended that we do when we come to Beachport. We've already seen a little bit of it, and I've got to say it's pretty special. So we're going to go for a bit of a drive along it, and we're going to head back into Kingston. come to the end of the scenic drive. It's a good drive, isn't it, Al?
It's a great drive. I've really enjoyed it.
You get some beautiful views as you come along, and you're right on the water's edge. About the last, I want to say, kilometre or so is a dirt track, but it's a very well-formed dirt track. You don't even barely notice a bump as you come along it. In fact, it's better than some of the bitumen roads we've driven on today. But you come right to the end. There's a fantastic look out here. You can look back up along the coast where you just come from. Yeah, great place to come and see, isn't it?
It is. It was a great suggestion. I've really enjoyed the drive today. It's been wonderful.
It has been. So if you come into Beachport, make sure you do the Bowman Scenic Drive. It's well worth, you know, an hour of your time when you come out here, and plenty of lookouts to stop and just see some beautiful views of the ocean and the rocks. And yeah, great place to do and a great thing to come and do. So that's it for our stay here in Kingston. We're going to get packed up and start moving up the road towards Victor Harbour today. It's been a great place to come and stay. $20 for a couple of nights, and you've got the shops and the pubs and everything very, very close by. Straight out the front, you can go and do a little bit of fishing. I give it a flick, but yeah, no good. The weather was pretty bad for a couple of days, but we're through that now and onto a beautiful sunny day again. So hopefully it stays like this by the time we get up to Victor Harbour. On our way out of town this morning, we're going to drop into a car wash, which are very few and far between. You can actually get your caravan into, so give everything a bit of a clean up just to get the salt air and, well, not the salt air, but the salt and sand off it. We've been down on the beach a couple of times, so get all that done and then we'll head up to Victor Harbour.
Good morning. We're about to leave Kingston SE, and before we leave today, we thought we'd come down and take the car and the caravan in for a wash. We found it a little bit difficult travelling around Australia, finding car washes that are big enough to take the caravan and probably get the caravan in and out, and we were lucky enough to find one here, so we came down and checked it out during the week. It's pretty good. You can get it in, get it out. It's big enough with the platform to get up and give it a wash as well.
Well, that's it for this week's adventure. We really hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked today's episode, make sure you give us a like before you go. If you have any questions or comments, please hit us up in the comments section. And of course, as usual, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so, because it really allows our channel to grow. But until next Saturday at 7 o'clock, you guys have yourselves a great week. We can't wait to see you. We'll see you then.